Folks, I'm with my friend Vincent Bonsignore at the LA Daily News, and we're talking Los Angeles Rams, Super Bowl, and stadium. So we're at the NFL Spring League meeting, of course. Fill us in on the stadium. We talked about it off camera, but what's
Well, it's scheduled to be open in August of 2019.
Yeah.
Actual construction is expected to begin toward the end of this year. So they'll probably have around 34, 35 months to get it completed. And everyone that I'm talking to anticipates no issues, no problems. So I think there was a little bit of a problem or issue with El Nino. They were anticipating heavy rain, so that pushed it back a little bit. But everything's ready to get rocking and rolling here pretty soon.
Now, the process for the Super Bowls today, we're looking at the Super Bowls for 2019, 20, and 21.
Right.
And prior to LA being awarded the Rams, it was a different competition. Now it's changed, yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean, prior to the Rams coming back, LA was no longer under consideration. I think by NFL rule, there has to be a team in the region. And obviously, we didn't have a team for the last 23 years. But the Rams coming back changed all that. And even before they awarded the Rams the Inglewood project over the Raiders and Chargers Carson project, this time last year, the NFL informed the cities that were in the bidding for 2019 and 2020 and 2021, which would be Atlanta, South Florida, and Tampa Bay. To expect that Los Angeles is going to be on that ballot as well. And this is even before.
Too, right?
Well, New Orleans is 2019.
Yeah.
LA, Atlanta, Miami, and Tampa are on the ballots for 2020 and 2021. So this has been in the works for a while now. Even before they decided whether it was going to be Carson or Inglewood, they essentially said either way, one of them is going to be on the ballot for 2020 or 2021.
Now, does Los Angeles have a plan for the Super Bowl already that you can share with us, or where are they in terms of where's Super Bowl City going to be? Or
I don't know those details yet. Hopefully, we're going to find out here pretty soon. I know that the chairman of the bid is Casey Wasserman, CEO of Wasserman Media Group. He's also part of, I believe, the Olympic bid process.
Now, is he the grandson of Lou Wasserman?
He is.
Yeah,
yes,
I got that
he
right.
is. So he's anyone that knows anything about Hollywood and the history of Hollywood.
Excuse me.
There you go. There you go. So he's that's a pretty prominent name.
Yeah,
obviously,
absolutely.
In Hollywood.
You ever have Wasserman glasses? You know, the big.
I didn't have those. I had friends that had those, but I didn't. Not my kind of party.
Huh.
But anyway, so he's going to make the presentation. Each city gets 15 minutes in front of the NFL owners to present, their visions and their qualifications for the Super Bowl but yeah, I mean, you think about how LA has changed just in the last 23 years.
Yeah,
Public transportation now, thousands of more hotel rooms in place. LA Live was in existence in 1993. I think was the last Super Bowl that was played in past city.
Subways weren't unheard of.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just in the next from 2006 to now, a slew of hotels have propped up, and then they're expecting even more between now and 2019 when the Inglewood Stadium opens. So, they feel like, what better city to host the biggest sports event of the year than Los Angeles?
I quite agree. You got your seat reserved at the Polo Lounge yet?
Not yet. We're, I'd be shocked. We just ran into Sam Farmer from the LA Times.
Yeah.
I guess the consensus and the people that I talk to, they pretty much feel it's a shoo-in, whether it's 2020 or 2021. But we all know when you get 32 owners in a room, anything can happen. And promises that were made aren't necessarily kept.
I understand Stephen Ross has $500 million he's put up now.
Yeah, and that's why if you were to ask me how I think it's going to play out,
I'm asking.
Atlanta gets 2019, Miami gets 2020, Los Angeles 2021.
I think that's bankable.
Yeah.
Tell them how to
or
find
flip flop the Miami and the Los Angeles.
Tell them how they find you on Twitter.
At Daily News, Vinny, for all the Raider fans out there.
Don't harass the guy. Come on, please.
It's all good. I'm
good.
just reporting a story,
That's
and
right.
it's a fluid story, and it's a developing story, and things change all the time. but I also get that it's a very emotional story. So
Hey, and but again, I'm glad the Rams are back in LA. Frankly, sorry, so I am.
nothing
It's
against
just,
St. Louis,
no, nothing
absolutely.
No.
You know, my preference probably would have been an expansion situation. This way, all the cities get to keep their teams. But unfortunately, that's not how it worked.
Yeah,
And
and no, it's no criticism of St. Louis either.
No,
It's
not
just a
at
matter.
all.
I think it's a matter of me being 53. You know,
yeah,
it's generational. That's
Right.
all. Nothing.
yeah, and I think that even if you talk to the Rams, you know, I'm sure their sentiment is it was really, despite how it all played out and the way the process kind of dictated certain strategies, there was nothing against St. Louis. They just really wanted to be back in Los Angeles.
Oh, let me get this out of the way. Are you against Oakland?
I am not. I love Oakland, and I would
Okay, cool.
prefer that the Raiders
Thank you.
actually stay there.
Yeah, all right.
But I also understand the Raiders' concerns. You know, it's a business, and I know that Raider fans are like, well, if Mark Davis can't pay for it himself, he needs to sell the team. That's almost pretty un-American to me. I get that Raider fans don't want to put money toward a public stadium. That's a perfectly sound stance and a very American stance. We're not going to subsidize you. We're not going to help you build your stadium. But you can't say that out of one side of your mouth and then say, however, as a fan of the team, I prefer you to stay here. And even though I don't want to pay anything to make that happen in terms of tax money, I want you to sell your team so that the team can stay here. That doesn't jive well with me. It
Right.
just doesn't mesh really.
Right.
So it is a business at the end of the day. It is his team. And if he feels like there's a better situation in Las Vegas or San Diego or Los Angeles, considering what's going on in Oakland or not going on in Oakland, he has every right to be able to
But
pursue
shouldn't he
that.
negotiate in good faith? Because I mean, I haven't put this out there until this week, but for the past year, Oakland officials have told me, and city attorney as well, that they're concerned that he doesn't operate in good faith. These are very, noted issues.
I think that they would probably see a complete reversal, a complete change, if there was clarity on the land. I think that is the biggest holdup. It's from what I'm told, a developer's not going to get involved unless or until clarity on the land. Because you don't know a developer who the Raiders may bring on. You need to know, well, how much land are we dealing with? How much does the land cost?
Sure.
Before you can get into anything else. It seems like Raider fans want Mark Davis to put a stadium plan out there. Based on what? I think that he's saying, well, if I figure out, or you can figure out how we're going to use this land, then we can start talking about that. Because I don't know you might know better than I do, but if I'm a developer, if I'm an investor, I'm not going to stick my neck out until I know what are the particulars here.
Well, man, I think this is your platform. I didn't want to get into that, but I think, in fairness, the value of the land is known by the county. In the past, there was, for want of a better term, miscommunication between city and county. The county was holding back information, but that's gone. Also, full disclosure, I created the Coliseum redevelopment area numbers as an intern out of Cal.
Right.
And so I know the assessed value backward and forward. It's not hard to figure out. The trouble is the Raiders need to ask the right people. And when Mark asked me to do the plan, they didn't bring me to the office and say, okay, does anybody know, how can you help us, as a courtesy, not, pay me.
So are you saying that they're talking to even knowing what the price of the land is?
It's important. Here's why it's important to know the price of land, among other reasons, to calculate tax increment revenue.
Of course, that's what I'm saying, and that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's like a developer's not going to, like I said, basically put his neck out there or her neck out there, based on with so many unknowns. They don't. I know you say that. Oh, well, he can go talk to the right people.
Or form a plan, because here's the thing. Forming a pre-development plan, no, it's not easy, but it's not that hard either. And in the internet age, it's actually quite easy. So
And is there a guarantee that plan would work then? Is that?
Well, look, there's no guarantee that any plan will work, but
That's another
the whole point
issue.
is, but you have to do it. Look, I've started 4 businesses. Okay, of the 4, I finally got one that works. It's Casey at the bat.
Right.
You got to try.
Well,
the Raiders to me, they could do a better job of running their business. I'll just say it straight out. Okay, and I'm trying to cap my words because again I feel guilty because this is your platform, not mine.
No, it's okay.
That's the
It's
way I
okay.
roll. It's like your stage, man.
Right, right.
But
Well,
anyway,
I mean,
I'm gonna cap myself right there.
Okay, there you go. But needless to say,
Sure.
there's an issue.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
whether you want to put it squarely on the Raiders or squarely on the city and county or
Mm-hmm.
on both, they're at an impasse. And until there is clarity on that land, and I'm talking to people here in the NFL
Mm-hmm.
just this morning about that very subject, and it's like until that gets figured out, there is no moving forward. There just isn't. So that's the hurdle as of right now. That's the biggest hurdle. And until there's a change in that, and then you have the A's obviously,
Sure.
and you
Yeah.
know if you're the A's, you know, basically your strategy is I'm just going to sit here and wait it all out, and wait for the Raiders to leave, and then I'll be the only thing in town, and then I'll start talking about a stadium plan. So I don't know for sure. I've never spoken to the A's, so I don't know if that's officially what their stance is, but it sure seems like that's where they're headed. So
Well, they've been talking to the mayor quite a bit. So the mayor's been driving a lot behind the scenes. And that's as much as I can say there.
Right, I hear you.
know, but Vinny, this is great, man. We got to do more of these. This is
Sounds good.
outstanding. All right,
Sounds
guys.
good.
Hey, thanks for the time.
all right, thank you.
You got it. Cool.